You heard that noise? My air compressor sits outside. I mean, the whole bottom just blew right slap out of it right there.
Today, I want to do a brief video talking about air compressor safety, and then I want to show you something here that every air compressor should have. Now, most of you probably already know this, but as these pressure vessels get older and rusted out on the inside, they can become a ticking time bomb. Just take a look at this quick clip that I got from David Evans' YouTube channel. You're looking at the top right in the garage. Boom, there it is. Let's take another look. And then here it is at half speed. Not the best footage, but you can see that's a close call there. And then here's some pictures of the aftermath. You can see the whole bottom of the tank just kind of gave way and blew apart. Now, as you can see in that clip, that guy is lucky to be alive. The thing blew up right in his darn face. So I decided after seeing that, let me pop the 2-inch plug off mine and take a look inside. And here's what I found. A little bit of rust on the walls, pretty normal. The welded vertical seam on the other side has rust. But then as you go down and look at the bottom, that is not good. I would have to say this tank it's had a good life, but I think its time is done. I don't want to risk it, especially after seeing some of the clips I've seen. Now, obviously, the more often you run your air compressor, the more you're going to have to drain the water from it, because basically what's happening is this intake side of the compressor, this is sucking in humid atmospheric air, and as it compresses it into the tank, the water in that air is going to condensate and sit down on the bottom of the tank.
I wonder if we had any water.
Oh, this whole bottom is all rust.
So of course you should drain the bottom of your compressor weekly, if not daily. And mine had this little valve on the bottom, but I found myself slacking on that quite a bit. So I decided to pick up one of these. Behind my work, there's one of these valves in action that I can show you. You can see this one drains both tanks, and both those lines are then teed in on the back side of here. You can see it's got an elbow coming off the bottom of the tank. And then this plug here plugs into the wall, and all this is a little blow-off valve to blow off any water that's sitting on the bottom of the tank. So it's a timed valve, and you can see this one's set to go off every 45 minutes, and it's set at a 2-second blow-off. So if you want to test it, you just hit this, and it'll blow off the excess pressure on the bottom of the tank for 2 seconds. If you want to turn that down to a ½ second, you can do that. It'll be quicker, and so on. While storing your compressors outside in a little concrete lean-to like this is probably the safest location for them, the biggest complications you're going to have is a system like this doesn't operate properly when the line gets frozen up. And full disclosure, when I originally tried this, it wasn't working, and you could see it went down to 20 degrees last night. You could see the ice was blowing out of this thing, so I had to de-thaw that line real quick just to be able to show you guys how it worked. Before we had this drain valve on here, this tank used to fill up like halfway, and we would empty it maybe once a month or so. But another consideration to keep in mind is if it's outside and it fills up half full of water and then it freezes over, your tank could potentially crack. These do require maintenance. You would shut this valve off probably, I'd say, once a month or so. You'd shut the valve off to it, relieve the pressure, and then you unthread this side, and these will have, they have a little screen in them that's supposed to catch all the rust and debris and such. And there's other style automatic drain valves too, like this pneumatically controlled one. This is a pretty neat design, and they claim that it doesn't waste any air, unlike the electronic one that's going to be continually blowing off whatever's on the bottom of your tank, whether it's air or water. The way this thing operates is actually really neat. I'm going to try to explain it in the most elementary way real quick for you. This would be the water side. So you can mount this thing anywhere. You can mount it on the bottom or the top, but you would attach a line from here down to the port on the bottom of your tank. And so technically that line should have water in it, but with some backing pressure on it. If your tank has 100 PSI, that's 100 PSI of water pressure into here. Now, when this thing sits here normally, there's a little spring-loaded ball seat that keeps that sealed so that water can't go anywhere. But this side here, you would have this attached to intermittent air pressure. So basically to a line that only gets pressure when the compressor's running. So like, let's say you had it teed in right here on this line. So when the compressor turns on and this side gets that air pressure, it actually opens up the connection from this we're going to call it the high water pressure side, because this is coming from the bottom of the tank. So whatever pressure is in the tank, it opens a connection from here to this little stainless steel storage tank. And so that water pressure will push and fill up this tank. And as it fills up, maybe it'll only go a quarter way. Of course, it's building pressure up here in the top as that's happening. And then when the compressor finally shuts off, the little valve in here slides back, cuts the connection here, and opens to drain the water that's in there out the bottom here. So a pretty neat design, actually. And that's probably the most like raw, terrible explanation of how it works. And I think if I installed something sooner, I probably could have avoided this. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this tank? Is it done for or what? I guess there's really no way to know without cutting it open and seeing how much material is left. I just took this magnet and swiped it all across the bottom, and look at some of the stuff I got out of here. If you take a look at one of these big chunks here, this is no like lightweight surface rust. This is very thick, heavy duty. I don't know if this camera footage is coming out great, but this is severe rot and rust. While we're on the topic of air compressor safety, the one other feature I'd like to point out that every tank should be equipped with is a high pressure blow-off valve that's teed in to the main tank here. This one is a 200 PSI blow-off valve, and the purpose of this is to blow off any excess pressure in the case of the air compressor getting stuck on. And the reason the air compressor could get stuck on the motor itself is if the pressure switch inside here was to fail and not cut power to it, it kept running and building up pressure in this tank, and there was no other way to bleed off that excess pressure. Well, you could rupture the tank if you had a healthy compressor. And you can see every tank should have a label on it showing you what it's actually rated for. This one's rated for 200 PSI, hence makes sense to have a 200 PSI blow-off valve on it. And speaking of old tanks, you can see this one's a 1993, so that's 27 years old. And again, I think this tank should be retired. And every once in a while, it's a good idea to check this blow-off valve, give it a little tug, and make sure it operates. Just make sure to wear earmuffs if your tank is completely full, or if it has low pressure, you should be all right. But if this thing was to get stuck, closed, and in the event that this switch fails at the same time, yeah, you could be in for some trouble, especially if your tank's rusted out like mine is. The mechanics of this valve are very simple. It's just a high tension spring in there with a little plunger that keeps it sealed until that spring pressure would be overcome by the air pressure in the tank, and then blow off. This video is mostly dealing with full-size compressors that you might see in a professional shop or garage. When you're looking at something like this little 3-gallon Husky, these are a lot thinner, and yes, you're going to have a drain that you should keep an eye on it and drain this every day depending on how much you're using it and how humid it is outside. But these don't have an access port for you to be able to really take off and take a good inspection, look inside of that tank. So really the best option for these is you can usually find the date, and you can see this one's a 2014, so it's only about 6 years old. But if you have one of these that's 15 or 20 years old, probably a good idea to just retire it, depending on how much use that it's actually had. Of course, a tank this size blowing up is not going to be quite as detrimental as a 40 or 60 gallon tank blowing up. I think by now you've more than got the point I'm trying to make here, and that's that keeping the condensation and moisture level inside of your tank to a minimum is going to prolong its life, and it's not a bad idea to do a biannual or annual internal inspection if you have an access port, and make sure that the structural integrity of the tank has not been compromised by rust. Again, comment down below, let me know what you think of my vessel, if you think it's worth salvaging and maybe welding a new bottom on it or something, and taking a look at the rest of the inside when I cut the bottom off. I think for me, I'm going to just hop online and do a little research, try to find a new tank, and that way I can keep my compressor and the motor on there, because I'm pretty sure they're actually made in USA. I know for most of you guys, this is like blah, blah, blah. I've heard this before. I've seen this before. But I figured, who knows, maybe this video will reach somebody who hasn't seen those clips of how much moisture can get inside of a tank and how a tank can rust out and explode. The last note I could think of here is, if you're buying a used air compressor, you better make sure to check the inside of that tank, because these things are dangerous. So yeah, hopefully I didn't ramble on there all too long. Give it a thumbs up if the video helped you out. Consider checking out my channel or subscribing. And yeah, that was just a quick safety video for you. Till next time, Chris Brown here, No Nonsense, Know How, and I'll see you next time.